Hi all, I know it's been a while, it's been quite poor and I haven't given you any material to kind of mull over and digest. Today I just wanted to take it back to basics, nothing too deep or too heavy. I just wanted to kind of give the journey of why I became a counsellor and how I got to where I am at this point in my life right now. It's quite funny actually, because if anybody had asked me maybe 10 years ago if I could have considered myself working within the mental health, I would have probably said no, would have maybe steered clear. It's steered very clear, and I'll kind of touch on that after. But yeah, why did I become a counsellor? What kind of led me to go on this journey? Just give a bit of background. So I think I've always had, I've always kind of had a close relationship with mental health. Mental health runs in our family, and for those that don't know, I've touched on it loads of times before, but my mum is schizophrenic, so growing up that was quite hard to accept, and I didn't really have much of an understanding. And as you're probably aware, growing up with Caribbean grandparents, there was a lot of avoidance. No one tends to discuss what's going on, so I think on a subconscious level there's always been an interest in mental health and why people behave the way they do. And I've always wanted to have just a better understanding of myself and who I am. And it's really interesting actually, when I was studying to become a counsellor, I actually did a presentation on schizophrenia because, as I said, I just kind of, you'll do your own diagnosis on Google and you'll read about split personality, which schizophrenia is not. And all these different things. So doing that presentation, which I have to say was amazing, I'm sorry, but it was, I have to cheer for myself, that gave me a better understanding of my mum's condition. So yeah, I think as I said, on a subconscious level, that's one of the reasons why I went into this profession. Another reason why I became a counsellor, when people say kind of it's their calling, I really believe it's what I'm called to do. I'm really passionate about it. Every time I sit in the chair with one of my clients, I've had a really hard day, I might be really tired, but once I sit in that chair, I just get into the role and I just enjoy it. It's such a privilege for people to share with me things that are going on in their life and for me to be able to support them on their journey. And some of the stories I hear, I just think like, wow, I don't know how you're still here, still standing, and I have to admire your strength. And I feel like I'm going to be jumping all over the place with this, but bear with me people. When it comes to counselling, it's not an easy thing. I think it takes real strength to make that decision and to commit to going through therapy. It's not easy at all, and it kind of takes me back to my journey in therapy. I used to always use the tag of, it's the course, and as part of the course, you have to have therapy. So whenever anybody asks me, I'm like, yeah, I'm having therapy, but it's because I'm doing the course. I would never just say, I'm going through therapy. And the reality is that I avoided it. I think we started the diploma in September, and by December I still hadn't embarked on my own personal journey. Everyone else had their counsellors, Karen was still avoiding it. My tutors would be like, so what's going on? And I use the excuse of, I can't afford it. That one. And then January came and I finally did my research and I found someone. It was a guy, his name was Mark. Again, I think on a subconscious level, I seeked out a male figure because I didn't have consistent male figures in my life growing up. So I think that's one of the reasons why I gravitated towards a male. I worked with him for about 3 years and it was challenging. It was good, but it was also very challenging. I've touched on attachment styles, and part of the narrative I had growing up was an avoidant attachment style. Kind of discussed my nan and kind of her behaviours and how I soaked that up as a sponge. So throughout therapy, I think I was very avoidant, and that's one of the many things I had to work through. So yeah, but he was amazing. I really began to enjoy my safe space, that solitude. It was good. Now I can say it was good. There was times when I'd go and I'd be like, I'm not gonna cry. This week I am not gonna cry. Lo and behold, I would cry, because I think a lot of people sometimes when they go to therapy, they try and control and dictate how the therapy is gonna go, and you just can't do that. You just don't know the material that would come up. So there'd be times when I'd be crying in therapy and they'd be like, it's your fault, you made me cry. There's lots of stuff. So that's kind of my journey. I think another reason why I went on to become a counsellor is because I often find that people would always come to me and talk to me about stuff. I was always the sounding board, and people have often described me as a good listener. So, you know, it's also drawing on those different skills and making use of it. I think that's it really. That's kind of the journey, and it's not the full journey. I'll probably do another video into my background, my upbringing, and how it went on to affect some of the behaviours and some of the mindsets that I have. But I think in a nutshell, I just really want to help people be the best versions that they can be of themselves. You know, there's still this really big stigma around counselling, especially sometimes I feel within the Black community, and I just want to make a difference in people's lives. I just want to be there and just help us be the best version of ourselves. And I think not everybody needs to have therapy, I'm not saying that, but I think it can be a really good tool, a really good learning space. And I think sometimes if there's a point in your life when you're going through stuff and you're just not coping, then counselling can be a good space for that. And that's what I'm here for. So as always, guys, you know, I see some of you watch these videos. I'm happy that you are and you're sharing my content. I just feel like sometimes just ask me questions, leave comments on the bottom, just give me some material that I can also work with. If there's something you want me to touch on, let me know. But as always, thanks for watching.